Yeah, I think the buzzing is definitely coming from here. And I'm pretty sure that that is the high pressure injection pump, the Bosch CP4. Might have to poke around in here a little bit further, but I don't see anything else that it could be over in this vicinity. So if you happen to know, like, not guess, because that's the whole thing, is all the people on the forums and the owners groups who have these Jeep EcoDiesels, we're trying to figure out what that buzzing noise is, like specifically what function does that carry out on the Jeep. Obviously it's engineered into the vehicle for some reason, but we're trying to figure out exactly why, and there's been tons of guesses. Some people have said it's the DEF fluid pump evacuating the lines when you turn the vehicle off. Some people said that it's a pump that continues to circulate coolant to the turbo to continue cooling it down a little bit when you shut the engine down, which would make a lot of sense. But it sounds like it's coming from the area of the fuel injection pump, which is something different altogether. So who really knows what it is? But if you happen to know, like maybe you're a tech at a Chrysler dealership or something, and you happen to know for sure why these EcoDiesel engines buzz like that for 3 or 4 minutes after you shut them down, post some comments below and let us know. Maybe you could help us solve what has turned into be a great mystery. Thanks. Good evening, guys. So look what just showed up. I was starting to wonder if these things actually even existed. So this is the Quadratec branded, if I can get the camera to focus there, skid plate, the universal style skid plate, and it goes up under the front of your Jeep. If you have a JL or a JT model and you put an aftermarket front bumper on there like this, then you probably know that you end up with those ugly, what some people call fangs, sticking down. And I didn't really want to cut those off. There's a better view of them. You know, a lot of guys get in here with a Sawzall or something like that, and they cut those off, which, you know, I guess if you own the Jeep, it's certainly an option, but I didn't really want to start cutting on this Jeep, so I decided to go with a skid plate just to cover it up instead. And I think it'll kind of do double duty. You know, obviously it'll protect this stuff up in here, but also with that plate rolling down, it should deflect a little bit of air underneath of the axle as well. You remember the factory bumpers come with a plastic version of that, kind of an air dam or air scoop. So I think this aluminum one will kind of act as a little bit of an aero package add-on as well. So let's get it on here and try it out. So there is just a little bit of assembly that you have to do here. If you kind of look at the directions, so you do have a couple of brackets and then these two little pieces here and all of your hardware. So like I said, just minor assembly, but the directions here, they even have nice little color photos. So they'll kind of walk you through it. Now obviously I've already got all of my factory stuff removed, so I can skip all of that and just go right down here. And you can kind of see how this is going to work. You're going to bolt those brackets on where they go, and then the skid plate uses existing holes otherwise to go ahead and bolt up. So I'm going to set the camera down. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I'll stick it on here and then I'll show you what it looks like when I get done. Okay guys, so I don't have it completely tightened down yet, but before it gets too dark out here to really see, because the sun's going down, I thought I'd go ahead and show you what it looks like. So Quadratec, there we go. Quadratec will tell you that this thing might not fit depending on which bumper you get. Now, you saw in my other videos, this is the Rampage Rock Rage bumper. and it fits perfectly fine, tons of space actually. But depending on which bumper you go with, it may or may not fit. But you can see how it really boxes in all the suspension work down there, your drag link, your track bar, steering stabilizer, you know, all that good stuff has some protection now. I went ahead and got the black one because it matches the bumper, but you can get this in silver if you want, so that's another option. But yeah, I mean, it's a sturdy piece. The holes that are in it, the mounting holes are oblong, so you can do a little bit of fine tuning and adjustment to kind of get it where you want it, both here and on the bottom, because you've got those bolts that go in the bottom too. So one little tip I'll give you, before you put the skid plate on, when you're mounting those brackets, you saw the little bitty backing plates that came with the kit. They have 2 bolts that run in them. I found that it was easier to do the bottom one first. That way it would be aligned. And then you could take your finger and put up in there and just move the top hole around where you needed it. Trying to do the top hole first, it was really hard to hold that backing plate up in there with one finger and start the bolt with the other. So I did the bottom bolts first and got it where it needed to be, and then all you have to do is swivel that backing plate back and forth just a little bit to get that top bolt started. So anyway, I just thought that was easier. But here's the protection you get on the side. You know, and again, it's not perfect, but it's a pretty nice piece. I wish they had these available a couple of years ago, because my dad and I fabricated something similar to this for the last Gladiator that I had a couple years ago, which was a pain in the rear end. So I'm glad they actually manufacture a piece to do that very thing now. Let me stand back here real quick and kind of give you a view of what it looks like from back, you know, away from the vehicle. So again, it kind of looks a little nicer, gives it a little bit of fit and finish, and obviously gives you some protection too. So nice piece, this Quadratec universal skid plate. Now I think the price has gone up on it just a little bit since I ordered this one, but I ordered this thing like 2 months ago or something. Had almost forgotten about it until the FedEx truck showed up today. So if you order one of these and they're not in stock when you order, you can plan on a pretty nice wait, just like everything else in the world right now, right? So now the only thing I'm waiting on still is that AFE intake. Who knows if that's ever going to show up. There's a long story that goes with that I might get to in the next video, but anyhow, there's a look at that skid plate. One more little touch on this great all-around Jeep Gladiator EcoDiesel build. All right, as I said, the sun's going down, it's getting late. I'm gonna go ahead and get these bolts tightened down while I can see what I'm doing, and we'll talk to you guys later.